These are 5 times Ilia Topuria went into complete beast mode.
He's an animal, dude. He's a real problem.
He has got a very, very bright future.
With an undefeated professional record of 15 wins and 0 losses, and within just 7 UFC fights, Ilia Topuria has taken over the UFC featherweight division, becoming the champion in the process, which he's now preparing to defend against a dangerous former champion in the form of Max Holloway. But how did he get to this position in such little time? Well, let's start with Ilia's second UFC fight, where he sent Damon Jackson into another dimension. Ilia entered the UFC in 2020 as an 8-0 undefeated prospect after a thunderous knockout of Stefan Goncalves at Brave Combat Federation 29 earned him a UFC contract.
Looking to draw some more blood.
He needs to get his back off that cage.
Oh, he gets caught!
As impressive as his last fight outside of the UFC was, his UFC debut against Youssef Zalal in 2020 wasn't so exciting as he wrestled his way to a unanimous decision victory. But after fans showed no extra interest in Ilia after the wrestling performance, he quickly learned he needed to step it up and bring some fireworks to grab attention. So later that year, Ilia was sure to bring out a different side of his game for his second UFC fight when he faced Damon Jackson at UFC Vegas 16. In the fight, Ilia demonstrated that he was levels above Jackson as he threw powerful combinations, and just 2 minutes into the first round, he absolutely melted Jackson with a killer right hook at the end of a combination. That was when fans first noticed Ilia's earth-shattering punching power.
Do you feel you're one of the strongest, most powerful punchers in that division?
Yeah, of course. I'm young. I have a lot of things for improve, and I'm the next champion, and that was what I was saying since long time ago.
With a performance as brutal as that, Ilia rolled into some trouble in the form of Ryan Hall, at least on paper, but what happened inside the octagon only reinforced that Ilia truly was the real deal. Hall came in with a lot of hype due to his impressive BJJ skills, but Ilia didn't see anything in his game that posed a real threat to him.
For me, he's like a normal person. How can I say you? Like nothing special for me, because like I said, where I grow up, I have a lot of guys who has a very similar style to him. So it's a good opportunity for me.
At UFC 264, Ilia proved that he was right when he smartly avoided any ground fighting as Hall tried a bit too many Imanari rolls. And with just 20 seconds left in the first, Hall lost his balance after missing a spinning back kick before Topuria quickly pounced on his grounded opponent and knocked the BJJ fighter out cold.
There's no one special, there's no one worth mentioning. You can name 15, number 8, whatever. I'm here to be number 1, and that's my goal, to be the number 1 guy.
This was also the time Ilia started to show his confidence in himself, predicting that he would be headlining major events in the near future.
I'm very happy to be on this big card, but I know deep down, I know within me, one day I'm going to be headlining big cards like this. I'm going to be the guy who's going to be the main event winner.
And while Ilia was already gaining the charisma and talent of a superstar, he was still yet to face a truly tough test, and his next fight was one that nearly handed him his first defeat. A few months after beating Hall, Topuria booked a fight against hometown hero Jai Herbert at UFC London in March 2022, and his trip to England's capital was full of chaos as he engaged in a wild brawl with Paddy Pimblett at a hotel just days before the fight. Ilia seemed more preoccupied with the Pimblett feud outside the cage than with focusing on his fight with Jai Herbert, and Herbert was eager to capitalize on that distraction.
I don't business, man. Let them waste their energy doing whatever they're doing, you get me? I'm doing my thing. Yeah, I'm out here just chilling. Last night I'm chilling, playing chess, drinking a cup of tea, you know what I mean? Slippers on and that. They can waste their energy doing what they want to do. I'm just out here chilling, me, ready for Saturday.
Herbert almost made Topuria pay for overlooking him when he dropped the Georgian with a crunching head kick, but luckily, Topuria's wrestling skills came in handy, helping him secure a crucial takedown to survive the early scare. In the second round, Topuria adjusted his approach, began to find his range, and as he gained confidence, began turning up the pressure. About a minute into the second, Topuria trapped Herbert against the cage and delivered one of the nastiest right hands in UFC history to turn his opponent into jelly. It was another big win for Topuria and one that had the bigger MMA voices talking.
Jai Herbert is a nasty stand-up fighter, and he caught Topuria with the perfect head kick. And Topuria, was in real trouble. He got dropped, and he scrambled, got a hold of him. Next round sent him into the dark lands.
Even Topuria himself was astonished by the extent of his own power.
Did you picture it in your head, it finishing that way?
No, I really didn't expect to finish him in this way, because the game plan was to take the fight to the ground. But we had to change the game plan, because I was surprised that in the first round he was really fast, good movements, and we had to change the game plan. I had to pressure him in striking and put him a combinations.
With each dominating win, Topuria edged closer to a title shot, but rising stars like Bryce Mitchell were also on the same path, so when the two clashed at UFC 282, fans were expecting a really close fight. Pre-fight, Bryce was ready for it all. He was ready to deliver an ass-whooping.
I don't care what he focuses on, brother. I really don't. All I know is I'm showing up to whoop ass.
Either that, or he was prepared to take one.
I've had my ass beat quite a bit in the gym, and, my neighbors kicked my ass when I was little. I don't see myself as undefeated, so, I see myself as a dude who can take an ass whooping and who ain't afraid of nobody.
Topuria wasted no time in delivering Bryce an ass whooping as he landed a stiff combination seconds into the fight that momentarily wobbled his opponent. Mitchell tried to respond with takedowns but struggled to get any real control. Topuria continued to land heavy shots in round 2, testing Mitchell's durability and eventually knocking him down. With relentless pressure, he continued the assault until he scored a takedown of his own. From there, Topuria expertly locked in an arm triangle choke, forcing Mitchell to tap and extending his record to a perfect 13-0. Another dominating decision win later, Topuria called out the then champion Alex Volkanovski, claiming how nobody in the UFC featherweight division could match his beastly attributes.
That no one can match my level of skill inside the cage.
With 6 UFC wins in a row to his name, Topuria was a force to be reckoned with, leading the UFC to make the smart choice of pairing him with Alex Volkanovski at UFC 298. As a champion with 5 successful title defenses, Volk entered the fight as the favorite, but the MMA world was on the brink of witnessing a historic demolition. Heading into the fight, Ilya was oozing with so much confidence that it reminded many of Conor McGregor.
From his girlfriend, to his words, to his team, this reminds me of Conor about to fight Jose Aldo.
Topuria even took a jab at Volk by calling him an old dude, which the Aussie hilariously embraced by showing up to the press conference dressed as a grandpa.
Man, just having a bit of fun with it, you know what I mean? So, you gotta do it,
The press conference was full of energy, with Topuria boldly telling everyone that he was going to be the new king and taking shots at the champ and the crowd.
Most of your opponents in the past have, said that they could beat you, but they offered you a lot of respect. Ilya hasn't really offered you that respect.
Don't even compare me with his past opponents.
Well, what do you make of it? What do you make of that energy that he's bringing, that lack of respect? What do you make of that?
Shut up. Hey, you see how he came dressed? You already know what's going to happen. You just came ready for the retirement. Look how you look as an old man.
Get a good spanking, that's what's gonna happen, hey.
Shut up, you two, okay?
The Georgian went all out, making big claims and predictions that led many to believe he was simply a cocky fighter looking for a lesson in humility.
You see that belt?
Yeah,
That's
I've
the
seen
last
it for
day
a while
you enjoy
now, and
that
I'll
belt.
keep seeing it.
That's the last days you are enjoying that belt.
Topuria put his money where his mouth is when he entered the cage, stepping into the octagon and trading blows with Volk in the first round, before delivering a crushing right hand that sent the champ crashing into oblivion in the second round.
Yeah, he caught me. That's that. You know, I felt good in there. I felt like I seen everything early. You know what I mean? But he ended up catching me. You know, I was pretty comfortable in the first round, and then we started being like, oh, we'll start to do more. I was just about to do more, and he caught me. So it's just the game.
Since winning the belt, Ilya has completely leaned into the villain persona, calling out the entire featherweight division and putting them on notice.
I mean, when you look at the division, who makes sense to you in your mind? Who stands out?
No, nobody. The division really sucks. We need a new challengers, you know. We need a couple of more fights in the division. So we'll see what's going to happen in the future, and hopefully we're going to have some clear challenger. But right now, there is nobody.
These were the times Ilia Topuria went into beast mode, and he'll get another chance to do the same when he defends his belt against Max Holloway at UFC 308. Can the Blessed One's granite chin withstand Topuria's monstrous power? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to check out times where cocky UFC villains actually backed up their trash talk and destroyed their opponents.